Okay, yesterday, guys, we started this lesson, Fundamental Theorem of Calculus, and we explained here all proofs of the first part of the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus. And we said that no need for this all. We need only to know that if our case of x is equal to the integral from a to x of t dt, we just substitute here for x. And when we have any function not x in the upper limit of the integration, we just multiply our final answer by 2x, which is the derivative of this function x squared.
Yes.
And substituting directly for x.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. We took these three examples, like x squared, x cubed. We should do it عادي by substituting x squared and x cubed instead of t squared, and multiply finally by f prime of 3x squared. Okay. Part 2 in the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus, which is the one we are using already in integration by using a definite integral, f of b minus f of a. For example, 3x minus 4 from 2 to 5, we just integrate 3x squared over 2 minus 4x, and then evaluate when it's 5 and when it's 2, and subtract the results. Okay, today we will move back to our lesson, the examples we have. Let's take here the first example, example 1, by using this fact, by using the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus part 1, ومسميها part 1 فعادي. بدينا part 2 yesterday. That the definite integral of the function f of x from a to b is equal to f of b minus f of a, and f uppercase here represents the antiderivative of the function f of x in the closed interval a to b. It should be a continuous function. Okay, let's do this example here. We can solve it. It's equal to مش سامعك خالص. x squared
minus
over
2 minus
yes, it's x squared over 2, which is the antiderivative of x from 1 to 2. Okay, but next step is to
minus x 1 over 1 to power.
it's 4, substituting 2 here first, it's 4 over 2, minus substituting 1 for x, it's 1 over 2. So your answer is 3 over 2. Your final answer is 3 over 2. Yes. By using the area, let's graph here. Let's graph here. طبعا you know this function is x. So when you graph it, when you have x and y axis, and you graph x, it's simple and easy. We know that it's 1 and 1 and so on. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 and 1, and 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, and so on. فنيجي عند 1 0 0 1 and what and 1, we have 2 and 2, 3 and 3, we have 4 and 4, and so on. So it's a line. It's a line. This is the function y equals x. Y equals 2x. What's the area here? The area like between 0, between 1 and 2. How to find this area? How to find the area of the shaded region here? Under the curve or under the line y equal x and the x-axis, bounded between 1 and 2. I think geometrically it's an area of trapezoid. And as we studied before, that the area of trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 over 2, and this all multiplied by the height h. Base 1 is equal to لو افترضنا ان ده base 1 and this part here is base 2. So base 1 is the height here, which is 2 and 2 at this point. 2 and 2. Okay. The first base 1 is 1. So I have 1 plus 2, and this all over what? 2, and then multiply by the height. What's the height here? Here is the height, which is, so we have a trapezoid like this, shabab. It has a base of 2 and another base of 1, and the height is 1. So multiplying by 1 here, gonna give us 3 over 2, which is exactly the same as what we did here using integral, definite integral. And fundamental theorem of calculus part 1. تمام؟
تمام يا مستر.
Okay. In example 2, in example 5 of section 4.4, we used the definition of area to show that the area under the curve y equals 9 minus x squared over the interval 0 to 3 is 18. We can now solve the problem much more easily using fundamental theorem of calculus. Yes. So let's do it, guys, by using the definite integral and the fundamental theorem of calculus. Usama, we have the integral from?
Yes, Mr. Okay. So one second, let me just read the question. So area to show that the area of undergraph 9 minus x squared from 0 to 3.
Yes, from 0 to 3 of the function 9 minus x squared
Yes.
dx.
Yes.
It should
Okay,
be
so
f uppercase of
3 minus f uppercase. Or
yes, of 3
yeah, of 3
على طول ماشي minus f
minus f
uppercase of
uppercase
0.
of 0.
Yes. F uppercase represents the
Antiderivative.
antiderivative of this function f of x,
Yes.
9 minus x squared.
Okay,
And
so we said that.
integrate.
Yeah, that it's gonna be 9x minus x cubed over 3.
Minus x cubed over
At
3.
0
Evaluate
and 3.
at 0 to 3.
So first of all, 3, it's gonna be 27 minus 27 over 3, which is 9.
27 over 3. And then minus
Okay,
substituting
minus
0.
0.
0.
Yes, 18. So it's gonna be 27 minus 9 is 18.
Yes. 27
Okay,
minus 9 is 18. So it's exactly the
yes.
same as it. Right. By using the area under this
Okay.
curve.
So when we draw it, Mister, we gotta put our shade the first point at 0, 9,
0
and
and
then just
9.
draw 2 arrows to the left, to the right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I need only it's a parabola,
Yes,
guys, but I will not draw the left side of this parabola. I
Mister.
will draw only the right side. And the
Exactly.
x-intercept is 3.
At 3. Yes. So,
Try
Mister,
to
this
evaluate
area,
the area from 0 to...
this is a quarter of a circle, and the radius is 3.
This is a
So we
quarter
can
of
put
a
it.
circle.
So
Area
pi r
equal
squared over 4.
quarter by r squared.
Yes.
So
So
it's
and the radius is 3. So it's 9 pi over 4.
multiplied by 9, which
Yeah.
is 9 pi over 4. In the calculator is about 9 times 3.14 over 4.
1 second. Let me see. 9 pi over 4. I don't think this. It's 7.06. I think we did something wrong.
Okay, Abdurrahman. It's not correct.
So, he says he can't hear anyone. He said he will leave and enter again.
I know, but I'm talking about the question. No, قلت له
The
خلاص, no
question.
problem, leave and join again.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, Abdurrahman, join. Okay, 9 times 3.14, and this all over what? 4 is 7 point something.
Yeah, it's 7 point something.
So what? So it's
1
not
second.
quarter circle.
Yeah. Maybe we used the wrong formula. لا مع انه الفورمولا المفروض صح. Yeah, it's not perfectly a quarter of a circle then.
No, so it's what? Not perfect quarter circle.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will not use this formula.
We can approximate. We can use the trapezoidal theorem to approximate.
Okay. Yeah.
ماشي. Let's make it 2 sub interval from 0 to 1.5 and 1.5 to 3.
Only 2.
You want to make more? Okay, 1, 2, 3. You can put 1 and then a 2 and then a 3. Yeah, so 3
Yes.
sub intervals.
1.
So 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3.
So what's the width of each subinterval? Delta
1.
x.
Delta x is 1.
Mm.
Okay, and then so Mr. For the trapezoidal theorem, we can put just the height as 1. So it's gonna be
Yes.
half into 1, and then just put parenthesis. It's gonna be Okay, so first of all we have to use f of 1.
f of
لا
1
f of 0.
f
Isn't
of
it like
0
f of 0 and then plus
plus
f and then 2 and then 2 like 2 brackets f of 1 plus f of 2 and then you close the bracket because f of 1 and f of 2 should come twice.
yes. So again, we would like to clarify this for your friends. So we have the area equal f of 1,
Yeah, so it's gonna be f of 0 which is 9
yes, 9 plus f of
plus
what?
2. What's f of 1 which
Yes,
is 8
f of 1 which is 8, okay, plus
plus f of 2.
mhm,
Okay, and then close the bracket. F of 3 plus f of 3. But put 2, mister. Put 2 before f of 1 and f of 2. Like f of 1 and f of 2 must be multiplied by 2.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
طيب, we
One
have
second, so
1
let
half here, and height is 1, height here is 1,
plus 0.
f of 0 is 9 plus 2 into f of 1 is 8.
I
What is
got
f of 2?
17.5, mister, which is very close, approximate.
طيب, f
F
of
of
2,
2 is
9
5.
minus 4,
It's
9
5.
minus 4 is 5, okay, and then plus
0.
f of 3 is 0,
Yes.
okay, which is equal to, طب 1 here represents what?
Represents
So,
the
ليش في
delta
2
x.
قبل ال 8 وال
Delta
5؟
x. لأنه they must repeat it twice.
Why؟
لأنه trapezoid. It's a trapezoidal method. If you draw the trapezoids, the area of trapezoids is the
b1
base
plus
A
b2.
plus base B. معنى وفي
هو this
البيسز
is
حتنعاد
trapezoid.
مرتين. هاي trapezoidal approximation.
Yes.
استنى مثلا تقريبا عاملين شكل ترابيزويد. طب وريني شكله.
نحن ما رسمنا هذا بس رسمنا الفورمولا بس ما رسمنا
Okay, when you draw
الشيبس.
مثلا trapezoid, عبد الرحمن, we have what?
yes,
Something like
but
this.
I know the formula. It's half base 1
Half delta x,
plus
the
base
formula
2
is half
times
delta
height,
x.
صح؟
And we have here the summation of f1 plus 2, like f1, f0, sorry. And then what? f1 plus f2, okay? And here, add them up here, and then plus f3.
Yes.
When we
It's gonna be
evaluate this all,
17.5.
that's 17.5,
طب
which
قريب
is
والله. It's
Yes,
close.
it's very
closer
close.
to what? 18. برضه ما تقدرش تستخدم ميد بوينتس، ممكن تعمل لها approximation بكذا طريقة.
Yes, we can.
بس
تستخدم rectangles كمان.
rectangles, yes.
طب والهاف هاي اللي قبل الاريا هاي تبعت الترابيزويد صح؟
Yes, divided by 2. What's the area of trapezoid? B1 plus B2
A
over
plus
2.
half base
Height.
1 plus base 2 times height.
Yes,
Yes.
B1 plus B2 over 2 times height. أو أقدر أكتبها half and then B1 plus B2 times height. This is the half,
Yes.
and the height is delta x, which is 1, and base 1 plus b2.
Yes.
b1 plus b2 will be the sum of what? f0, f3. And 2.
احنا ايش عرفنا الاف 1 والاف 2 هم التو بيزز؟
ارجع انت لو رسمت ترابيزويدز على كل سب انترفلز حتعرف انهم حينعادوا مرتين. حتبين لك يعني.
Okay. You can use any way, any other way, like the midpoint, مثلا endpoint rule, by find the endpoint here, the midpoint here between.
But I think I don't understand why we multiplied by 2. مش فاهمها دي.
Okay, عبد الرحمن, use here the midpoints تطلع more accurate برضو عن 17.5, right? What's the halfway between 0 and 1? It's half, right? So delta x multiplied by f of 1 half plus f of, what's the halfway here? 3 over 2.
1.5.
And then
Plus
halfway
5 over 2.
plus what? 5 over 2, yeah, 2.5. And then other. The delta x, we said it's 1.
It's 1. F of half is gonna be 8.75.
Delta x represents the base times the
Yeah.
height here. The height, which is the مثلا f of 1.5 اللي هي 3. f of half يعني 9 minus
8.75.
1 over 4.
8.75.
What does? ايه يا ابني في plus f of 1.5 يعني 9 minus
9 over 4.
1.5. ها؟
9 over 4,
9
so it's
over
gonna
4.
be 27 over 4. لا total 27 over 4.
ايوه 27 over 4 and then plus f of 2.5 يعني 9 minus 2.5 squared.
Wait.
It's gonna be 11 over 2. 11 لا ايوه 11 over 4. 11 over 4. 11 over 4.
11 over 4. Okay.
Yes.
طيب add them up all.
That's 13.
يلا ثواني.
تعطيك 18.25. It's an over approximation.
18.25 برضه قريبة صح؟
Yes.
يس تعتبر كلوزر باي ذا واي من اللي تحت.
Yes.
It's more accurate عن الترابيزويد.
Yes.
Next example 3.
مستر
Yes.
why do we draw؟ ليش ما اخذنا ليش نعمل approximate مبارفر؟
والله
What؟
شكلك مش فاهم السالفة.
ها؟
شوي هو مش فاهم ليش رسمنا وليش ما طلعنا الجواب 18.
This question was in section 4.4. He did it by using area under the curve. What's the area under the curve? كنا فاكرينها quarter circle and it's not quarter circle. Okay, you have to approximate the area by using any way I said before, either the right or the left endpoint rule or the midpoint. Here the midpoint, and here what? By using the trapezoid. يعني كأنك رسمت trapezoid under this curve and bounded by 0 and 3 and using the area of trapezoid here. وعملنا approximation للاريا، مرة طلعت 17.5 مرة بالميد بوينت 18.25 وباي using a definite integral اللي هي related مع fundamental theorem of calculus is exactly 18. في هنا overestimate شوية وفي هنا ايه underestimate. The most accurate one I think الميد بوينت دايما. How to do it؟ بتقسم الانترفال 0 to 3 into 3 subintervals from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3. So the width of each subinterval is 1. هنا بيكون هو البيز، يعني لما تيجي تقسم rectangles فبيكون الدلتا اكس يعني مثلا هنا 2 فبيكون الدلتا اكس اللي هي ما بين كل نمبر واللي بعده دلتا اكس ب 1. اوكي ب 1 اللي هو البيز تايمز الهايت. هاو تو فايند ذس هايت طبعا عشان تجيب الاريا اوف ذا ريكتانجل اف اوف 1 اند اف اوف 2 اند اف اوف 3. طيب لو اخذنا الميد بوينتس بتدينا اكيوريت شويه. اف اوف هاف plus f of 1 and a half plus f of 2.5 and find them by substituting in the function نفسها multiply by the base which is 1 gives 18.25 which is accurate. شوية عن
مستر
yes.
مستر احنا should we use the two ways ولا we could
No,
we choose
anyway
يعني
use this way.
يعني أنا مثلا شفت mid point is easier مستر.
the midpoint is easier in the trapezoidal way بتكون شوية صعبة عشان why you have to multiply ب 2 كده. بس you have to draw the trapezoid. لو رسمت trapezoid بتبقى سهلة. Next question, example 3. Find the area under the curve cosine x. The graph is figure 4.6 أو 4.6.4 اللي انتم شايفينه ده graph of cosine. He's asking to find the area between 0 and pi over 2. Between 0 and pi over 2. So in letter A, we will write that the area from 0 to pi over 2 of cosine x dx, which is integral or the antiderivative of cosine is sine x. And then evaluate from 0 to pi over 2. Your answer is simply sine pi over 2
minus sine 0
minus sine 0 equal sine pi
Yes.
over 2
1.
يعني من الآخر 1 يا مستر الإجابة. طب
Yes.
مستر can we calculate this by drawing two triangles؟
triangles
ولا ده هبل ده؟ لا I
Trapezoid.
mean
trapezoid
or triangle يا أستاذ؟
براحتك rectangles.
Rectangles or
طب
trapezoids.
هلا مستر احنا we want to calculate the area of this shaded
Find the area
shaded
under
part.
the curve over the interval. What's the area? I can use the definite integral وخلاص. The area is 1. Okay, also you can use what?
لا I mean if we want to draw Mr. like your way
rectangles,
you
okay.
teach us
يلا.
before. How do we can you show me please?
يلا. From 0 to pi over 2. We can draw what? Subintervals. خليهم ايه؟ What is
طب ما
delta x?
تنفعش triangle شكلها it's close to
triangles
triangle مش
or rectangles or trapezoid. So we have rectangles مثلا هناخد الميد points. Delta x is equal to pi over 2 minus 0 over n. n هنا represents how many subintervals you can divide, how many rectangles تتقسم الديستانس هنا من 0 to pi over 2. Let's say 4.
4 yes.
Okay. Where fell? Yes, let's say 4. So pi over 2 over pi over 4, which is pi over 8. And here it's pi over 8. Okay, and the next is pi over plus pi over 8 again equals 2 pi over 8, which is pi over 4, and then plus pi over 8 again. Okay, which
Yes,
is
equals 3 over 8 pi.
3 pi over 8.
اللي هي دي.
اوكي، يبقى I have 4 intervals ونفس الطريقه، يعني the area equal الدلتا x multiplied by احسن شيء تاخذ الهاف واي between them، يعني the mid points تديك accurate شوي.
طيب خليني بس اخذ لك هاف كده مثلا، يعني باي اوفر 16.
باي اوفر 16 يعني تجيب f of pi over 16 plus
وباي اوفر 8.
f of no the mid points.
يس استنى شوي.
mid points
wait.
pi over 16 and the halfway between pi over 4 and pi over 8، يعني اعمل plus and divide 2 pi over 8 plus pi over 4
يلا
over
ثواني.
2. It's 3 pi over
answer divide 2
16.
3 over 16.
Yeah, 3 over
Yes,
16
3 over
pi.
16 pi.
Yes, and then f of this point, the midpoint here and the midpoint here, f of
يلا حطلعها بس plus 3
5 pi over 8 يبقى 5 pi over 16.
5 pi over 16.
اوكي ماشي، والنكست بوينت اللي هو the last midpoint
يلا
between pi
خلينا
over
نشوف.
2 and 3 pi over 7 pi over
7
16.
pi over 16.
7 pi over 16. بعدين طلع delta x which is pi over 8. This is the delta x from this step. بعدين f of pi over 16 يعني substitute in the function cosine x، يعني تجيب cosine pi over 16.
Yes. Plus
cosine pi
cosine.
over 16 كم؟
مثلا انا بحسبها كلها مع بعض دقيقة بس.
اوكي. Yes, f of pi over 16 plus f of in the whole function mod 7 ولا
180 16 ثواني.
yes
طلعت 1.006
multiplied also by pi over 8.
مثلا الاوفر اول 1 بوينت احط صفرين 2 zeros 6.
Yes, so it's about
close.
1. Yes, this is how to calculate the approximation of the area under this curve cosine x and 0 to pi over 2. بعدين letter B make what conjecture about the value of the integral. هذا من 0 to pi. The definite integral from 0 to what? To pi of cosine x dx. From 0 to pi. You can write it as from 0 to pi over 2 of cosine x dx plus the definite integral from pi over 2 to pi cosine x dx. يعني نقدر نعملها two parts. The first part we already evaluated from 0 to pi over 2, which is 1 plus the second part. Let me do it here from pi over 2 to pi of cosine x dx. Simply the antiderivative of cosine x is sine x. Antiderivative of cosine, our integration of cosine is sine. And then at pi over 2 to pi. So we have sine pi minus what? Sine pi over 2, which is sine pi is 0 minus sine pi over 2 is 1. So my area here is -1. So -1. So the answer is what? 0. So the area here is 1 and the area here is -1. يبقى طبعا بيكنسلوا بعض and the area or the definite integral is what? Is 0. Any question? Any question? Is it clear for all guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's clear.
Next, the relationship between definite and the indefinite integrals. Okay. I would like guys to highlight here the important issue in this part, which is in general, you have to know that when applying fundamental theorem of calculus, no need to add c, because if you notice that there is no c in the definite integral. كان في c في indefinite integral في السيشنز اللي فاتت، بس في الdefinite integral when I have from a to b, no need to add the c. Why? Because it will drop out anyway. And to see this, guys, if we have the definite integral from a to b f of x dx, and we know that if uppercase is the antiderivative of f of x plus c at a to b. بعمل substitution هيطلع لك f uppercase of b minus plus c minus f of a plus c. فيو will drop out the c يعني تكنسلها out ويفضل بس معاك ال f of b minus f of a. فno need. And this is the relation. In a simple way. In exercise 4 and 5, this is not 6. Yes, this is 5a, b, c. Okay, so this is 5a, and now 5b, and c, and d. Yes, the first example, example 4, to find the definite integral from 1 to 9 of radical x. We know that radical x can be written as x to the power of 1/2 dx. Now it's integral from 1 to 9. We add 1, no need that to write this, خلاص. It's x to the power of 3 over 2. Add 1 to half gives 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. And then evaluate this all from what? 1 to 9.
Yeah.
So we have 9 to the power of 3 over 2, and this all multiplied by 2 over 3, because we will flip this here, it will be 2 over 3, minus 1 to the power of 3 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 3. Your answer is 3 power 3 is 27, divided 3.
18 minus أول واحدة 18 مستر. تمام خليني بس أشوف الثانية ثواني.
It's 2/3 because 1 to the power of anything is the same. 1 times 2/3 is 2/3. 18 minus
2 over
2/3.
3, yes. 18 minus 2 over 3. The final answer is 52 over 3.
Yes, 52 over 3, right. So your answer is 52 over 3.
Yes.
Okay, next question. If you have any problem, guys, stop and ask me. The definite integral from 4 to 9 of x squared radical x, طبعا هنا product. We have to first clear this
قسمهم
product.
يا مستر. Make them 2 parts, right?
No, احنا مالناش كده خالص. في البلس في الماينس لما يكون بينهم plus or minus. But here product, we have to say in x squared multiplied by x to the power of half dx. And then from 4 to 9, add the exponents while multiplying. So 2.5 or 2 plus half is 5 over 2, 2.5. So again, مفيش حاجة اسمها أقسمهم دي في البلس والماينس بس. I just added the exponents up to write them as a single exponent. Okay, كده أشتغل عليها عادي, which is 5 to the power of 5 over 2 plus 1 over 5 over 2 over the new exponent, which is what? 7 over 2. Over 7 over 2 أو أعملها multiplied by what? 2 over 7. Again يا شباب. Add عادي 1 to 5 over 2 and divide by the new exponent. The x to the power plus 1 here gives 7 over 2. I should divide by 7 over 2. بس the denominator of the denominator is numerator يبقى 2 over 7. Don't say plus c. ما في plus c هنا. في area bounded by 4 and 9. So we have to evaluate at 4 and 9. أبدأ بال 9 يبقى 2 over 7. Yes. 9 to the power of 7 over 2, and then minus 2 over 7, 2 over 7, and now we will plug in 4 instead of x, which is 4, and this all to the power of 7
Mister,
over...
sorry for cutting you off, but I didn't understand. Can you explain again?
Who is Rafi? Who's asking?
Jad Mhanna.
Yeah, Jad. Which part? This question, letter A?
Explain the question from the start, please.
Which one, يعني 5 or 4?
5, please.
Yes. Here we have the product of two functions, x squared and radical x, right? So you know, a radical x, the square root of x can be written as x power half. Okay, and from properties of exponents, we can add the exponent. We can add 2 and half. 2 plus half is 5 over 2. And in the integration, x to the power of 5 over 2, we just add 1 to 5 over 2 and divide by the new exponent to find your definite integral. We add 1 and divide by the new exponent. Adding 1 to 5 over 2 gives 7 over 2, and divide by 7 over 2 is the same as multiplying by 2 over 7. It should be like this, 7 over 2 over 7 over 2. From where we bring the 7 over 2? By adding 1 here to the exponent. 5 over 2, yani 2.5, 2.5 plus 1. The answer is x to the power of 7 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 7, because you can flip this here. Okay?
Yes.
يا ابني هتاكلنا في ايه؟ طيب 2 over 7 and here 2 over 7 and 9 to the power of 7 over 2. كده calculator يعني. You can do it in the calculator and then find your answer. But here, يا عبد الرحمن, don't say again that we will separate them as plus or minus. We have to
معلش مستر نسيت
multiply them first.
ملتبلاي وخلاص. ايوه
adding the exponents
صح.
ونشتغل عادي. اوكي جد؟
الواد جد ده
thank you.
سأل وراح.
Okay, next question, letter B. بس letter B, from 0 to pi over 2 of sin x over 5. Yes, Omar Abu Zahra. Can you help me here in this question? 1 over 5
Yes,
here
miss,
is what?
here.
Yes.
Uh,
1 over 5. This 5 is a constant. We can write it outside, but
okay,
don't write
1
it
over-
outside as 5. Write it as what?
1 over 5 and 0 to pi over 2. مستر اطلع الاول. اوكي ماشي. مستر تصير مستر نيجاتيف كوساين اكس.
Yes,
The
negative cosine x, which is the antiderivative of sine is negative cosine. The
مستر في
integral of sine is negative cosine.
0 باي اوفر 2.
حلو.
هنا بصير 1 over 5 times negative cosine باي over 2.
Okay, نعمل substitution صحيح. Wait. Cosine.
باي over 2.
Yes, pi over 2 first. Okay.
minus
1 over 5 again. Okay.
بعرف. اوكي بس عشان في ماينس يعني كمان اوكي. كوساين 0.
Cosine 0 بنحسبها عادي because it's a trig. If it's x only أو كده خلاص no need. But here because it's cosine we know that cosine 0 is 1.
اوكي.
Yes, cosine 0 is what? Is equal to 1.
0
Cosine pi over 2 is what?
0.
Is 0.
بس
طيب.
تطلع
0
مستر
يعني minus.
في مستر في بلس 1 over 5 مستر، عشان في اصل مع الكوساين ماينس، وفي مع ال 1 over 5 ماينس، فبصير بلس.
ليه؟ negative by negative is positive and positive by negative is negative. So
كوساين 0 مستر نيجاتيف 1 ولا 1 مستر؟
cosine 0 is 1.
اوكي فاهم.
positive 1. Yeah, so it's what? Positive 1. Yeah, it's now positive 1 over 5.
يس
صحيح. واصلا this part from 0 to pi over 2 of sin x is above the x-axis, right?
يس.
So it should be positive. Yes, and this part on the graph of sin x will be above from 0 to pi over 2. حدينا مثلا pi over 2 بيكون above the x-axis. So here, this part represents the area from 0 to pi over 2. This shaded region is the area bounded by the curve and the x-axis of this function y equals sin x. حلو؟ فبتطلع positive عشان هي above the x-axis. طيب. Okay, let me ask الشباب. Let me ask عمر. خلاص ماشي. وليد ماهر.
So can I give it a try?
اوكي next question. خلينا نشوف عمر وليد ماهر، بعدين انت اشتغل على طول في next question letter دي.
ممكن تخليني next question لأن لسه مش يعني
secant square
لسه مش داخل المخ والله.
عادي no problem. What's the integral of secant square? What function its derivative? What's the derivative of secant square? Yeah, or what's the derivative of a function? Or what function has a derivative of secant square? Another way.
Function has a derivative of secant square.
لا فاكر
بعرف.
derivative of mean gives a secant square. ها؟
والله ما أعرف بس.
tan.
Yes,
Tan
tan
x.
صح.
The derivative of tan is sec squared. That's why the integral of sec squared dx is tan. Okay, and this all from what? 0 to pi over 3. Bas.
Yes.
And then evaluate the integral at pi over 3 first, and then minus at 0. Huh?
pi over 3.
Huh?
بتضل pi over 3 tan x.
Tan pi over 3. تعمل substitute باللي فوق الأول minus
Yes.
tan what? Tan 0.
Tan 0.
Tan pi over 3. It's radical 3 tan 60. صح؟
Yes and yes.
وتان 0
tan 0 ب 30 كأنه خلنا
عند
أحسن.
الزيرو which is 0 over 1 which is 0.
Yes.
ضيانة سيركل يا بني. مش هنا الزيرو اللي هنا البوينت دي 1 and 0 وانت عارف ان التان ساين على كوساين يبقى 0 على 1 يعني 0. It's radical 3 is the area. Okay. Thank you دكتور وليد. Okay. Now
Try next one.
يلا هوب هوب. مين هذا الفستون؟
مستر
مين هو؟
مستر طلعوا مستر هذا
مين؟
في واحد داخل باسم
أولا sec x بتصير الله
مين كنا ناخذه derivative what function يعني d over dx of sec x in the first term كنا ناخذها sec x tan x هنا العكس بس the integral from negative pi over 4 to pi over 4 of sec x tan x is sec x
the integral pi over 4 negative pi over 4
تمام
بعدين بتسوي substitution بتصير sec x pi over 4 minus sec x
لا خلاص شيل الاكس بتبقى sec pi over 4
minus sec negative pi over 4
yeah and sec is even or odd function sec is even function like cosine so from the definition of even functions بتشيل اصلا النيجاتيف لان السك is even فsec negative pi over 4 is the same as sec 4 sec قصدي pi over 4 يبقى sec pi over 4 minus again sec pi over 4 which is 0.
Okay.
مستر
Yes.
مستر إذا بالكالكوليتر مستر خليناها minus pi over 4 بيعطينا برضه 0 ولا إحنا لازم
يعني لو حطيت على الكالكوليتر sec negative pi over 4
ولا should we change it مستر؟
ايوه change it على الكالكوليتر
مستر الايفل اللي هم كوساين
يعني اصلا خدها as a general rule in the calculator the subtract functions when I have مثلا cosine sorry بس one minute cosine negative pi over 3 for example don't write it cosine negative pi over 3 okay write cosine pi over 3 and then adjust the sign
يعني مستر هو السك والكوساين هم الايفن صح مستر؟
السك والكوساين only are even and the other three functions are odd.
ايوه
Okay. Yes. Yes. تفضل حسن. So guys, I received only the homework from
homework what?
For yesterday.
The
one I said guys about
أنا
it's okay, Usama it's
انا بعته
okay.
مستر صح
Abu
ايوه
Zahra,
I'll try to send it today, Mr.
So raise hand guys, the ones who already sent the homework for me, please raise hand. عشان بس انا كنا قايلين
راي هوم ورك الخميس ولا
البي دي اف كان خميس واجلناه yesterday قلنا till 8 p.m. deadline.
بس انا بعت لك اياه يوم الجمعه، في وقت اللي اعطتنا اياه يوم الخميس.
ايوه يا خالد. اوكي ريزهم بس عشان نعرف بس الناس اللي بعد. عبد الرزاق. عمر عصام، عمر حسام، you didn't send right. مهدي، مجد، ما بعد. اوكي. طب طاهر وزياد، علي وائل ما بعد. أنا سجلت. Thank you. Okay. Let's continue, guys, here for some exercises.
Mr.
Yes.
I think Mr. The period finished.
It's finished. Yeah, sure. Yes, still 1 minute.
1 minute, yes, 1 minute.
طيب ماشي نروح نشرب.
Till 60 seconds. انت مش مقدر.